What is going on, guys? So, quick update on the car because it's been a little while. It is super dirty. I put a bunch of miles on it since I finished the swap. I put almost 1,400 miles on it. Everything was doing pretty good. And then I had a massive oil leak one day, and the main seal, I thought went bad. There is a seal behind the main seal cover. It actually started leaking, so I ended up replacing that. Dropped the trans. I changed the rear main seal with the OEM Honda one, no more Felpro, and the little O-ring in the back of it. That set me back a little bit. This swap is a little bit of pain. I had the AC recharged, so AC compressor is down there. All the lines, everything. AC blows super cold. When it was time to drop the trans, I was debating pulling the whole motor, only because working on the motor, trans, doing the pulling the clutch underneath the car is a little bit of a pain. And as you can see, I don't have a lift. It's on 4 jack stands right now, and so the way you would normally drop the transmission on this, you actually drop the whole subframe, and you don't actually completely pull it out. Let me get a light and I'll show you. Alright, so I'm underneath the car right now. I'm on the driver's side. You can see the oil pan. Transmission is back there. It's ready to go back up. But I figured I'd take a quick shot, try to point out some of the things. So, see if we can get in here. The car is a little bit on the lower side, but I don't like having it too high up. When you go drop the whole subframe, and it's hard to tell from this angle, the whole subframe is down almost 3 inches. And the way you're able to do that is, you can see it up there. Get the phone up there. There we go, that's a better angle. So on the left hand side, you can see the steering shaft is disconnected. You need to do that, if not you break the steering column. And then you have these big bolts. And the way you're able to tell is the bolt, can't get the phone any closer. The bolt looks distorted. The bolt looks like it's messed up, but that's actually the factory line. So you back out this long bolt until it is flush to the subframe, and you use a jack to slowly bring it all down. And that gives you enough room where you're able to get to everything. You're able to get to the top of the trans bolts. You're able to do everything. And basically, let me get a video from the other side. Alright, so from the other side, you actually can see it better. So you see the subframe is dropped down a couple inches. Roughly 3 inches it drops down. Then you're able to get to all the bolts. And let me get a little close up on the starter, because I don't think I've ever mentioned this. You gotta notch it a little bit. There we go. Otherwise, the housing on the starter itself, so here would actually lock up the flywheel. So when you pull the transmission, if you ever got to do this, you also end up having to pull out the clutch, pressure plate, flywheel, and adapter plate. But then you get all the axles you need. And she should be back up and running in about a week or so. It's been pretty busy. I figured just give a quick update, better than nothing. And I know somebody was asking me about this, the coolant tubes. So let me try to adjust my light here. Alright. So the coolant tubes, I made them, and then as a precaution I threw some Honda Bond over all the welds. I'm not a professional welder. They're not leaking, but can't be, better safe than sorry is what my approach for it. And as you can see up top on the left hand corner, I am reusing all the factory S2000 fuel lines. A little bit harder to see, but hopefully this helps anybody. So normally that little distribution part where the line goes to is on this head over here. I was able to bolt it to the side. A little bit of cutting, a little welding, and that's basically it. Also, when you go to drop this, if you're in the same situation, make sure you loosen up the wires. So those wires hanging right here are for the starter. Otherwise, you're gonna rip it out. The motor and the motor and trans by itself is pretty heavy, and will rip up your wiring. Another quick shot. Figure while I'm down here, why not? Here is the exhaust manifold. A little hard to see, but it is the factory exhaust manifold, and I chopped it up and made them point back. So factory heat shields are on it, and I wrapped the downpipes. That way, you know, nothing's getting heat soaked, no heat on anything. Try to protect as much as you can. But the car's been a lot of fun. Definitely cannot complain. It is a blast to drive. The car feels like a completely different car. But let me recap at the top of the engine bay. All right, so back up top. Another thing somebody was asking me about was the coolant tubes, specifically how did I route them. So let me come around. There we go. This tube comes right off the water pump, and nope, sorry, that one. So this tube here comes from the back of the heads. The one on the left is coming from the water pump. The water pump one goes to your top radiator hose. The bottom one goes down. The car never overheated, always ran pretty cool. You can see on this side everything is pretty tight. But we made it work. No issues. I still need to get new IAT. That broke off on me last time when I pulled the swap. And it's not the hood. Somebody thought maybe it hit the hood. Definitely it's not the hood. Another thing you're going to want to do if you pull the trans, while it's in the car, you want to put a piece of 2x4 so between the rack and pinion and the crank pulley. And the reason is when you're trying to get the transmission up, the motor is going to move on you. So if you don't brace it somehow, you're going to be fighting that. Other than that, guys, if you have any questions, make sure and drop them in the comment box. I try to read every single one and respond. Sometimes I don't get to it right away, but I definitely will respond back to you. I know this swap is getting more popular. So, you know, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. All right, guys, have a good one.